So today at the UN, President Biden rebuked Vladimir Putin and his war. But the question is, was it enough? What about China and Iran? And by the by, Biden at the end of the speech pledged allegiance to the UN Charter. Really? Whatever happened to the U.S. Constitution? Anyway, here to talk about it is Nikki Haley, former UN ambassador, former governor of South Carolina. Nikki, thank you for coming on.
It's great to be with you, Larry.
My pleasure. So, what did you think of Biden's speech, in particular on the Putin-Russian-Ukraine side?
I mean, look, he came out hard against Russia, which was good. He said he needed to be tough. He needed to be strong. I thought he fell short on the fact that he could have called out those that are helping Russia. He needed to call out Iran on sending drones. He needed to call out China on the fact that they continue to be ultimate partners. You know, he needed to call out North Korea for sending rockets. So, I mean, it was fine, but it's not what you say, it's what you do. You know, I hope that he's going to double down and make sure he gets together with NATO and they send the equipment they need. They need anti-drone equipment. He needs to be sending it to them so that they can keep them strong and allow them to win.
What about this Russian referendum now? Does anyone take this seriously in the eastern part of Ukraine? And what about Putin's nuclear threat or saber rattling? I mean, should we take this stuff seriously, or are these the words of a dying man in a losing cause?
So I think the referendum's a farce. We all know it's a farce. The Russian people know it's a farce. And I think what you're seeing with Putin with his new threats shows how desperate he's become. I mean, think about how far he's fallen, that they've raised the draft age in Russia to 65. You've got his military. He's lost the confidence of his military. He's lost the confidence of his people. The fact that you're getting drones from Iran and rockets from North Korea says that you've fallen really far. And this is a desperate attempt to scare people. What we should be doing is strengthening our spine and those of NATO, because that means that Ukraine is winning, and we need to make sure that we finish the job.
Also on the speech, I want to talk about some other things, but also on the speech, I thought he was kind of soft or negligent on China. Didn't have much to say about China.
He's always soft on China, always. And that is our #1 national security threat. And he always stops short of calling them out on anything.
Right. He didn't today either. He didn't mention any of their human rights abuses, trade abuses, and all the rest of it. And then just one last thing, maybe I'm nitpicking, but he ends the speech with this Pledge of Allegiance to the UN Charter. I mean, come on. Whatever happened to America first? Whatever happened to our Constitution? I'd pledge allegiance to that.
I mean, what bothered me more was he pledged all of this money to all of these countries. And Larry, I mean, look at our economy. Look at the inflation. You're just spending like a drunken sailor here in the country, causing inflation to go up. Now you're going and pledging all this money to these other countries. I kind of think you need to pay attention to the fact that Americans can't afford gas. They can't afford food. Like, what about that? And so, you know, to go pledge to the UN Charter and say he wants to, you know, go back to that system, well, that's the same system that is yet to call out Russia for the war in Ukraine. It's the same system that's yet to call out China or hold them accountable for COVID. So what are you pledging to?
That was my problem. I mean, I always liked America first, and I still do. UN's fine, it's out there. You're a very good ambassador. Kelly Craft was a very good ambassador, but it's America first.
Absolutely, and it always should be. And the one thing you should tell the UN is, look, you know, all you have is countries that have their hands out. We've got to make sure that they understand we don't give money to just anybody. You know, if you want to be a partner, we'll work with you. But we don't have money just to throw around to everybody.
So let's switch gears, do some politics and have some fun. This sort of wicked witch from The View, Sunny Hostin, is that her name, or Hostin, or whatever it is. So she's attacking you for your first name or not using your first name. Lefties love to attack Republicans who are conservative or women who are conservative. I mean, what's up with this? What's your response to this?
This is not the first time. It won't be the last time. Liberals lose their mind when a minority is a conservative. And I'll take you back. When I won governorship in South Carolina, a reporter asked a senior African-American Democrat woman how she felt about South Carolina finally having the first minority governor. And she goes, Nikki Haley's not a minority. She's just a conservative with a tan.
Oh.
So now you go and you have Sunny Hostin yesterday, and she's saying Nikki's not going by her own real name. Nikki is on my birth certificate. I was born Nikki. It's an Indian name. I'm proud of my Indian heritage. By the way, Sunny is not her birth name.
So I gather.
I mean, it's just hypocritical at best.
Had they apologized for this?
No.
One word?
The amazing thing is, had they done this to a Democrat, or if this had happened, heads would have rolled. But I won't even get an apology. She's certainly not going to lose her job. She's probably gotten praise, and that's how they continue to do it.
Nobody from the network has slapped her.
No one has
Zero.
said. No one has said anything, and that says more about The View and about Sunny Hastings than it says anything about us.
Boy, I'll tell you, it's quite a thing. So let's stay with politics. This is so much fun to talk to you about politics. It's been a while. We have this New York State Attorney General, Letitia James, who has made a career out of running against Donald Trump. Now, James is in a very tight race for state attorney general, all right? In fact, I've seen polls showing that she's a point or two down. So today she unleashes this civil lawsuit against the entire Trump family for financial misdeeds, I'll call them. I want to add that William Barr, former federal attorney general, was on this network earlier and said that it was a cheap political shot. I mean, what do you make of that? This is desperation?
Let me tell you what I think about Letitia James. So we have an organization called Stand for America, and it's a C4, and donors to the policy advocacy organization are kept private, just like an individual tax return. We were contacted a few weeks ago by Politico and said, we have your tax return. And I said, how do you possibly have our tax return? Show us. We got the tax return, last page stamped by the New York State Attorney General. Oh. She leaked it to a news organization because she goes after conservatives. She goes after anyone that opposes her. She's done this to the NRA. She's done it to pro-life groups. She's now done it to us. We are suing Letitia James because it's federal and state tax crime. So go to standforamerica.com if you want to join us in the lawsuit.
Good.
But I will tell you, her doing this to President Trump is another notch in her political playbook. We are endorsing her opponent tomorrow.
Oh,
it is
terrific.
time for Letitia James to go. She has shown that all she wants to do is go after Republicans, conservatives, and you can't take her seriously because she never has anything to back it up. She just does things in a very corrupt way, and the New York people of New York deserve better.
Good for you. And I think the people of New York may dump her.
I hope
I mean, actually, they may take Lee Zeldin over Hochul, too. I mean, the cavalry is coming to New York as well, which is so fascinating, which leads me to my last question. What you think about the national elections? Will the GOP cavalry prevail?
We are all over the country helping House candidates, Senate candidates. There's 36 governor's races. You know, it's getting tight. I think we're going to do this. I think we can win the House. I've been campaigning for Herschel Walker, Dr. Oz, Adam Laxalt next week. We're going to New Hampshire for Bolduc. You know, this is the fact that we've got to do anything and everything. If people don't like the tide that's happening, let's change it. And I feel like we're going to be able to do that.
So you're in demand.
Well, you know what?
I like it.
It takes all of us. It takes all of us.
You're right. By the way, I had Herschel Walker on this show, and he was fabulous.
He's fantastic.
He was. I mean, I knew Laxalt was great. Okay, I've known Oz. I know Ron Johnson's going to win. It's not going to be a problem. Oz is going to beat the crazy person. But Herschel Walker, he was terrific.
He is. I was in Georgia with him, did a rally of 500 people. He doesn't talk about what he doesn't know. And when he does get asked a question, he's genuine, he's honest, he's real, and the people of Georgia love him. He's going to win that race.
I remember a governor of South Carolina was kind of the same way when she first ran. Same way, successfully.
Oh,
Thank you for coming.
You're a great friend.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so